And let's do that. So we are recording so that no one misses a thing, even if you didn't attend. So back to our topic. Thank you, Fulgencia, for that. Okay, so I said we start with a quote, and I'm asking for a volunteer. Please read us a quote. Can we have a volunteer to take us through this quote? Unmute and read for us.
Yeah, I'm Joachim, I can read.
Please, thank you. Go ahead.
The quote says, if you go in there saying,
Yes, Joan.
how can I make something awesome? The money will flow.
Okay, meaning those who are thinking about entrepreneurship. Okay. Yes, Alex Fori from South Africa is a founder of a logistic company, IT technology company. He says, when you do something awesome, good, money will always follow you. So for those thinking entrepreneurship, or even those who are working, if you work well, that's how you'll get promoted. This is what we intend to cover today. What is personal finance? Why is it important? How do we do it? And some upcoming events, as well as your commitments. I would like to know after this session, what is that one thing, 1, 2, or 3 things that you're going to commit to do after the session. But let's start with even, why is this topic important? Type in the chat so that we get to know what is in. Why is it important before we even get to know what is it? Yes, can I have some responses on the chat? Custodians, people are still talking about what a steward is. Yes, can we know why is personal finance management important? Why is it important for you? Can we have some responses on chat? We all use and manage money. That's why it's important. Thank you, Sadat. Anyone else? What are you saying? Resources are scarce, so we need to plan. It trains the discipline of saving, custodian for resilience, financial freedom, creates a roadmap for financial freedom. Fantastic. So those are really great points. Financial freedom, independence, being able to meet our day-to-day needs, being able to, I like the word resilient, even when there is a shock. Yes, there was a COVID some years back. Now, recently, there was Ebola. So many things happen. So you lose a job. I know if you check on you check on our YouTube channel, you'll find a session where I did, how did I manage to survive? Now it's coming to 6 years without a formal job. So 2019, I left my formal job. And now I'm running consultancies, and you know what that means. Sometimes there is no money, but you need to survive. And how do I survive? I look to the fact that it is savings that have sustained me. So anyone who disagrees with me about savings, I'm a life testimony of savings. So it's very important. So a steward is someone entrusted to manage, protect, and take care of property, resources, or affairs that belong to someone else. So if you look at this very handsome flight host, you can see is taking care. So this is the same kind of thinking that I would like us to have when we are taking care of money. Because sometimes, I think sometimes many of us are reckless because, oh, it's my money, I can use it how I want. My dear, there is tomorrow. You cannot use money as you want. There is tomorrow. That's why you need to be a steward, even of your own personal finance. And that's why we chose the topic steward. So personal finance is the management of an individual's or household's financial resources. It encompasses budgeting, saving, investing, spending, and protecting the money over time to achieve short and long-term financial goals, for example, buying a home, funding education, or preparing for retirement. So it's very important that we plan our personal finances now, because come retirement, we may not have the capacity to work like we used to work. But sometimes there are obstacles or bottlenecks that stop us from managing our finances well because of some myth, things that we inherited or had when we were growing or young. And I want us to actually think about them because sometimes these are things that unconsciously come in our minds that make us actually not look after our money well because of what we learned or what environment in which we found ourselves in. And so we really need to think about them as well as perhaps things that could be obstacles or constraints to how we manage our finances. So that said, there are some money myths that you could have had or experienced. And I would like you to type in the chat some of them. There are very many, but can you just type in the chat a few so we get to see? Money myths, we need to bust those first before we have the right mindset in order to look after our finances well. We are still okay. I'm looking for some answers in the chat. Some money myth, things that are not true, but you believed in, or maybe even you are still believing in them up to now, but it's something we need to get rid of. Okay, can I have some examples of what you know of had? Money will come at the right time. The rich also die. That's interesting. Money is the root cause of evil. Savings is for people who earn a lot. Wow, indeed, savings. And we have a quote at the end about savings. And you will really see. You can only save after meeting your needs. If I can't solve your problems, if it can't solve your problems, eat it. Wow. Those are some of the different money myths that we need to get rid of because they can sort of prevent us from looking after being proper stewards of our money. I like more positive thinking like, yes, eat your money, but consciously. Consciously, meaning that you have a budget, you have a plan that you're working on, and once you've spent the money or allocated the money how you want, then spend it the way you want for the rest of it. But make sure that you've put the different monies in the right pockets. Matching. Is it possible to match your expenditures to some income? Can the one income, for example, if you're earning salary only, can it be able to cater for all the expenses that you need to incur? Is it therefore important that perhaps you need to increase or diversify the sources of income? Because if you rely, for example, on a job, and if that job is not there, what will happen? Those are some of the questions we need to be asking ourselves. Have you invested, for example, so that if that job is not there, then you're able to survive? Or do you have adequate savings? And if not, the 20s, I like that you are here. It's time for you to actually start. Then living below your means. Really, a day ago, I asked one of the house managers to come and help me clean and all that. And she didn't expect me to give her some money for the service that she had rendered. And I asked, did you expect this money? She said, no. So I said, so now where are you taking it? He said, I'm not sure. I said, do you have a bank account? No. Do you save? No. Do you have a group? Yes, I have a group with my aunt. I'm like, in that group, do the people know that you exist? Yes. I said, now, this money, because you never expected it, I want you to make sure that you put most of it there because you didn't even expect to have it anyway. So why are you going to start spending it when you didn't even know that you're going to have it? Can you please save it and make sure you let me know how you do with that. So living below your means, once your salary increases, doesn't mean that your expenses have to increase. Well, why is it that now the expenses have to increase because your salary is increased? Yes, you can improve your standard of living, but really trying to live below your means will really make you be able to manage. So these are my personal money mindsets that I really love. Okay, let's see. Very many. Money is complicated. I don't want anything when we say come and budget. And my dear the gentlemen, I know you are fewer here on the call than women. You say, let us budget. Money is complicated. Me things of calculating, I don't want. You don't want to involve yourself in really understanding. Some people don't even want to understand the exact amount of money because the expenses are so much more than the income. So that ability to sit and even think about how much, it just gives you a headache. Too much money is shameful. Money will never be enough. We have never had money in our life. We have always been poor. Or is it a humble background and all that? But that doesn't need to be your story. May it have been for your parents, grandparents, but doesn't need to be your story. I am too young to worry about retirement. So I'm in music, blocking my ears and not knowing. But before you know it, you're at 50 and you're like, oh, where did the time go? So you are not too young to save. Even the little ones at home. I love my boss whom I use, one of my bosses I had when I was still employed. They had, as a family, they had got into the habit of budgeting. That even these children at 8, 7, I think 10 years, when they would go in a supermarket, the other ones would say, you cannot take that because it's not in the budget. They had a family budget, and the children did really understand, including development budget for building and all that. And the kids understood what a budget is at that young age. So it's actually possible even for young ones. So we need to train our children that they need to plan. All debt is bad, okay? Because all debt is bad because of the experience or what you've been able to do. You get debt which you don't need because you don't have a clear plan for that debt. And then you end up misusing, and then at the end you say, all debt is bad. Not all debt is bad. The debt which is bad is the debt that you get without a clear plan or purpose. That's when it becomes bad because you don't even have the capacity to pay it. Because when you are getting it, you actually didn't know what you're going to use it for. And there are so many schemes, money lenders, oh, this percent, get this money, so much on the phones these days, oh, just dial this one and money comes and all that. So many opportunities to get money. But then where are you actually getting that money? Yeah, is the question. Renting is throwing money away and many others. But the positive mindset is that when we budget, however little the money is, when we budget and set clear goals for the money, then we are comfortable to spend as you like, using cautious spending because you really have a plan or a budget that guides you. And then having the being grateful and having that abundance mindset, not every time squeezing yourself and almost really suffering because of wanting, again, this I'm talking about those who want to save everything and even not be able to live a healthy life now. Active investing, setting clear goals, these are some of the things. Informed borrowing, financial literacy, and thank you so much. How many are we now on the call? Thank you all. We are now 75 here on the call, coming to listen something about how to manage your finance, and then planning, even if the money is little, being able to plan, and then purposeful spending. So I really like this particular slide, the pillars of personal finance. It starts with income. What are my sources of income? Salary, perhaps dividends from where I've been able to invest, profits from a business that I'm running, and some other enterprises that perhaps I do. So being clear about where your money is coming from, knowing where this money is coming from, and then budgeting and spending. So being able to budget and spend. So budget, and Joseph here was asking, I want a very nice budget template so that I am able to budget. But even a simple Excel or even a simple notebook to note, this is my income, this is my expenditure, and we're just going to look at the 50-30-20 rule in a bit. But being able to say, this is my source of income and this is what I need to spend on. Saving for a rainy day, saving to be able to invest, saving for emergency. Now, I just told you the story of you lose your job. Can you survive for even 6 months? I don't know what the country is. They say you need to have reserves for 4 months or 6 months. But also, you at a personal level, do you have reserves for at least 6 months? And really, really today, okay, previously it was easy. Maybe after 6 months you would have got a job, but now you lose a job, you can spend 3 years without a job. So it means, therefore, the day you start working is the day you need to start saving, because that job, you can easily lose it either by design or other circumstances, or you'd fall sick or something and you're not able to continue. So the day you start work is the day it's good for you to start putting money aside, assuming that I don't have this job that will come. Am I able to sustain myself? Then investing in you, invest on your capacity. And there are so many ways in which you can invest. So there are maybe fixed money incomes like the treasury bills and bonds, or the unit trusts, or buying shares, even in circles. So how many circles, how many investment clubs do you belong to? Those little things which can help you to save. I like them because sort of they act as an accountability platform without you knowing. Because in your mind, you'll say, okay, they will see me, last month I didn't save, this month I didn't save. What is my story? And people are saving, and perhaps it's even a very flexible amount. So if others are saving, you are not saving, the question is, where is your money going? And then you're actually even not able to pinpoint where the money has gone. So the month has ended, you don't see the money, and you're there wondering, where did the money go? So very important that we allocate the different monies, either in envelopes, for the different things that we need to be able to do. Risk managing, being able to protect. So risk, some of the way in which you can transfer risk is, for example, insurance, very important. When I knew that my contract is ending, my job is ending, one of the things that I did was to have medical insurance for the family, because it was super, super important that when I don't have a steady flow of income, at least I have money for medical. So medical insurance, those are some of the things that you can transfer. So looking at what could potentially go wrong, and is it possible to guard against this? Maybe have an emergency fund, or do something, guard something, or even just building social capital. Yeah, helping people, because then when you have and when you don't have, they will be also to be able to help you. So yeah, those protection and risk. Then debt management, very important. I already hinted to it. Debt, these days it's so easy to get debt on the phone. Every time I feel like deleting everything on about MTN, or asking, oh, now you can borrow this, oh, now you can borrow this. I'm like, sometimes I just put there junk, spam, what? Because I don't want those messages to come, because I have other investment places where I can get cheaper money. Okay. Where I can get cheaper money. So is it possible to identify, belong to groups where you can actually get cheaper money, rather than with these very quick sources of money, which may work against you? But if you don't have source, no problem. Go to MTN, go to Airtel, go where. But make sure that even this debt, when you get it, what are you getting this money for? What exactly are you going to do? Okay, sometimes you want you already maybe today is what, 27th. Some organizations pay maybe in the first week of September, and now you are really barely able to reach there. The thing is, can you review and see what is that I spend my money on? For me, I when I'm out of office or not where, I find myself spending a lot of money on data, and yet when I'm in an office environment and there is unlimited internet, I feel like I don't really need to spend. So how can I actually manage that so that I'm able to control data? Okay. Then there's, I love this 50-30-20 rule. Although I would say, if you can, we can see here savings, debt, and all that. Take 20%. This is assuming that you're earning 1 million Uganda shillings. So 20% goes to saving, 30% goes to wants, and 50% goes to needs, those things that you really, really actually need, like healthcare, utilities, transport, housing, groceries, and I dare to say charity as well. So they're 10%, the tithe and all that. Those who are spiritual, but even if you're not spiritual, it's very good to actually give. It's very good to give. So I would dare to say that charity, contributions to charity are part of needs, because as humans, we need to be able to help in whichever regard, whether it's a church or whatever, or community or whatever. So have set aside, I earn 1 million shillings, 50%, that means 500. This is what it's going to do. Now, if you earn 1 million shillings, but then you are living in a house of, say, 800, and now it's only 200, how are you going to manage your transportation? How are you going to manage your groceries? How are you going to manage? So it therefore means that perhaps your housing cost you have to look for another cheaper place so that it fits within the money that you have. So any type of money, because it's very surprising how even those who earn very little, you find them saving. How do they do it? Is that they live within their means or even below their means. So if your accommodation is taking a lot of your money and you're not able to save, you're not able to meet other needs, then think about, what can I do to actually change this accommodation? Or could I actually share? So pool resources or get friends, stay together and be able to manage the housing so that the cost comes down. Once, yeah, it's good to dine out. It's good to go for entertainment. Work-life balance is very important. It's good to go for holidays, get exposure, get refreshed, get new ideas. So yeah, set some money aside for doing that. I read a book where somebody was saying they would put their money 50 in envelopes. And then once the envelope was, for example, once is done, even if it's the 15th, nothing, they're not going out. Their friends are going to call, can we go out? I'm not available, something, because they are very cautious about how they are spending. So that's why I say I love that ability to say, to be able to, I love the ability that you are cautious of knowing that I'm spending this and I'm spending it because this is what I planned. Then savings and debts, so for emergency, for retirement, for debt repayment and all that. Maybe also to talk about debt. Yes, we acquire debt, but some debt is not good because perhaps the interest is so low. If there's a possibility for you to get to get debt somewhere, like some money where it is cheaper, then get that debt, come and pay off this one which is very expensive, and then service that one which is more friendly, or even go and renegotiate and say, oh, based on this circumstance, I'm not actually able to meet my my debt payments. Yeah, and then we want to really conclude on this, looking at this asset-based allocation. I got this from one of the former MD of NSSF. He presented at one of the circle where I belong, and he presented, and I felt like this was really a very nice way in which we can really think about how are we allocating our assets, those things that can make us money based on age. So at 20, what are you doing at 20? Of course, at 20, perhaps you don't have a lot of money to invest in real estate or property unless you inherit, which is also possible. Maybe you don't have a lot of money for putting in fixed income like unit trust, treasury bonds, and those kind of things, equity. But I think as soon as you start earning, it's an opportunity for you to belong to certain groups and start saving or buying shares in those different enterprises. Then at 30s, you can really see, so you're working, money is increasing, you're being promoted. Yeah, invest in real estate, in those fixed income, in equities. Equities, those are shares. So it can be in circles, investment clubs, or companies that you buy different shares. Then at 40s, you're almost your climax. Things are working well for you. Yes, you can increase your real estate income. At 50, you are getting towards, yeah, so yes, you have some fixed income, real estate and all that. Then 60s and above, this one perhaps now, money is only coming through what you have been able to invest in. So, and this is the age, maybe 60, and now today you can live up to 80, because there are those are like, for me by 60, I not reach 60. Before you know it, you are 60, you're 70, you're 80, and then you're very ill, different kind of diseases, you've not invested, you're sick. I don't want to say it's a myth, but some even now say investing in children thinking they're going to help you, but they themselves are not even able to help themselves, and you as a parent need to continue providing for them. We see this happening. So meaning at that later years, you need to be having money available to cater for maybe medical needs or different things that you might need, because you may not have the energy to actually be working. But now you can only manage that when you perhaps earlier on invested in real estate, and this is when you can now be able to start selling some of those properties so that you have cash to be able to manage. And then maybe even you're selling off shares in the different, because you need now cash, you don't have another other sources of money, that sources of money that can help you sustain. So, but if you spend well, I mean, you have cautious spending in mind, you are trying to live within your means or below your means if possible, trying to match your expenses. If it's utilities, what income is that which is helping me to pay my utilities? Do you have, for me, I have a laundry that helps me to support utilities. So money from laundry comes to help to support utilities. Money from this comes to that. So that kind of matching. And so that in old age, we are not really stranded. So 20 now, but soon you will be at 60. The thing is, what would you have done in your 20s, in your 30s, in your 40s, in your 50s? What would you have done? Because then certainly when you're older, you're not really able to service. So I would like to pause here and just check, is anyone have a questions before we can conclude, or somebody just wants to make a contribution? Okay, or type in the chat. Okay, great work.
Great. Thank you.
Yes.
I'm personally very inspired with the last life cycle, and I've felt cheated because the opportunities which I must have maximized to increase probably fixed income, but I tried it to put it around the equities, and it was easily accessible and spent away.
Oh dear.
So I think that's very insightful, especially the attitude to think you have time, then you are 30, then eventually you are 35, eventually you are 30, you are 40. So I love that. And personally, I think in the 50-30 rule, I felt like, okay, maybe the 30 can be the savings and the 20 can be the wants.
Yes.
And that's great wisdom.
Yes.
Thank you, Joan.
Thank you so much for sharing. Let us not
Hello,
get
Joan.
discouraged. Yes, please.
What is equities and growth?
So equities, these are things like shares that you can buy in a company, or we have here we call SACCOs. I don't know if you have SACCOs on.
Oh, okay. So the 20% you are talking about, 20% of the income.
Oh, okay. So there is this slide where we talked about her. Who is this one who is writing on my stuff?
Yes.
So here, savings, we are saying you need to have an allocation of how am I going to spend my money. So here we are seeing this model here, which says 50, 30, 20. And doctor was just telling us here, and if possible, actually make your savings the 30%. So that you're able to save more. And that is what perhaps as you grow older, you feel like now I need to be catching up and then trying to save more. But the thing is that if you had started when you are young, it compounds. And by the time you reach 60, you will not be in that situation where you're now saying, okay, now what do I need to do in order to catch up? But I want to believe in there's that proverb, the Chinese proverb that says, the best time to plant a tree was yesterday. The second best time is now. So let's start now. Let's not worry what will happen in the past. Now we know. We just need to do something about it. So I will ask for a volunteer to read us our final quote. But in the meantime, type in the chat, what is one thing that you have learned today that you're going to start doing differently? That would really make me happy. That would be make me happy that this time I've spent and to put these very beautiful slides together are going to be put to use. Okay, so just do me a favor and put in the chat, what is that one thing? 1, 2, 3 things, but one, let's do one that you're going to do differently, as we have a volunteer to read for us this final quote by this wonderful CEO. I just love listening to this gentleman. Okay.
All right, here I am.
Okay, Isaiah.
It says saving is not about how much you make, but how much you keep and discipline yourself to grow.
You're a bit
Small
low. We are
daily-
not hearing.
Oh, okay, I'm saying, is that much better?
Yes.
It says saving is not about how much you make, but how much you keep and discipline yourself to grow. Small daily steps lay the groundwork for long-term independence by Dr. James Mwangi.
Group Managing Director and CEO of Equity Group Holdings. I really wish you could hear some of the interviews he has had, and you will just see an amazing CEO with great vision. It will be injustice if I don't talk about the different activities that are happening in the company. For personal growth, we have a self-paced learning on personal development. That is the 15 invaluable laws of growth, self-paced or instructor-led. So if that is something that will be helpful, like I said, it's very important to grow you the person. So grow you the person, grow your finances, but you yourself growing your mindset and all that. And so that's why we are so keen about personal development and growth of the individuals, and also maybe individuals and in organizations and businesses. So we have a self-paced course for that. We then are very keen about mentorship of the young people. We don't want the young people to be like us. Oh, we wish we knew this, we wish we knew that. So every holiday we run a Teens and Twins. We call it Day Out. So it's a day out, but it's an opportunity to learn. And this time we shall be having it on the 5th of September. Fulgencia, help me share some links. If you have children between 9 and 19 years, it's an opportunity for them to learn. And why we are so excited about this is that we had a review after 5 years. We had a review, and some of the teens and twins who have been in the program and have now transitioned to university are coming to do the facilitation, and they are doing it this time next Saturday. So it would be nice. We just want to see what have they been able to learn and how can they help the rest of the teens and twins coming up. And then this is also business development. Like I said, it's personal development, business development, and organizational development. And we are super excited about this SME Business Bootcamp going to happen in November. We are organizing it together with the Business Services Providers Network, where we are thinking about, we are business trainers, but we have the same statistics, businesses collapsing. What can we do about that? So one of the things is we have we call it a three in one high impact, where we are going to equip ourselves with tools to help because of climate change, green business, because of leveraging technology, digitize your business, and then business diagnostics. Can we help businesses understand what the problems are and then be able to recommend appropriate interventions? So that's why we're very excited about the SME Business Bootcamp, and then also just helping businesses that show up. Of course, it comes at a cost, but we are looking for sponsors. If you know people who can sponsor, then we do this for free. We are happy because we have the information, we have the knowledge, and we are very grateful that the Enterprise Uganda, their Center for Excellence, have been able to grant us a very affordable space where we can do this. So feel free to join either to acquire skills or as a business volunteer to be diagnosed, or just come and listen and say, okay, I don't want to be diagnosed, but let me hear what other businesses are suffering from. Quote in quotes, we want those who go through the training become, quote in quotes, business doctors. So we are very excited about that. Yeah, so as I end here, I just want to see if there's anything else, any question that has come through the chat that perhaps we may not have addressed. I think it's an opportunity to do this. This time we said, grab your lunch so that we listen, because we knew this may be, being personal finance, it may take more than 30 minutes, and indeed it has taken, but we had already warned you that make sure your lunch is nearby. Yeah, any questions, comments that have come through the chat that I need to address? Okay, so register for the business bootcamp is there. The teens and twins, maybe what we can do here is even just share. Do you have that template that has the different links? You could just share. So we just have everything there. Okay. Any final thoughts, any comments, any additions, any subtractions? We are good? Okay, so what is it that you are taking away? I think that's one thing that I want to just read that and see what is that you are saying you're going to do following your attendance of this. What is that one thing you've learned and you're going to change? Let's see what's coming through the chat. Let me see. I may not thank you so much. I don't want thank you only. Saving is for when it will rain. Okay. Making a budget, diversifying my income sources. Great, Isaiah. Yes, also saving for the rainy day. The age-based asset allocation is what I am going to start on. I don't know which age, but yes. Inspired to improve my saving habit for the later years. True, we can start now. Ryan, the 50-30, even with the little pocket money, you can already start setting aside money for you for the future. When they give you maybe 100,000, have they say 20,000, I'm going to put it here. We need to really start that saving culture already. So thank you so much for identifying that. And since I know you, Ryan, I am happy to keep for you that 20%. And I give it to you when you need it. Can these links be shared in our inboxes or emails? Yes, we shall share those links on emails. Reduce on spending. Borrow from loans, from loan interest places. So yeah, so not just borrowing for consumption, but borrowing for something which is really purposeful. I think 20% saving must start with me. Thanks for this insight. Yes, I don't see the name, but yes, thank you so much. And really, please, may you keep those commitments that you have made, and may we next year meet when we you have really actually done something about that. So there is listening, but the other thing is taking action, being able to implement, and it starts now, and it can start with you. It has really been a great pleasure sharing with you this topic. You have been a wonderful audience listening, and and I would like to call it a great afternoon. Thank you for the thank yous, and wishing you all well. Bye.
Nice day.
Nice day.